Alright YouTube, so as Darth Vader said in A New Hope, the circle is now complete. For this vlog, I'll be continuing my movie ending series by talking about the original trilogy of the Star Wars episodes 4, 5, and 6. And that's the original trilogy that we all know and love. So I remember hearing that the first Star Wars episode was definitely a gamble, but as you all can probably infer by now, it was a gamble that paid off well. And Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope has an ending that I'm quite fond of. Now, as one can probably assume from the title, there is a new hope to the galaxy, and this movie does end on an upbeat and positive note. The main character himself, Luke Skywalker, is that new hope that they're referring to, and he recruits an unlikely ally in a character, Han Solo, who helps him later destroy the Death Star, which was a major threat to the galaxy as it destroyed Princess Leia's home planet. So the Death Star plans were hidden in R2-D2, and the Death Star plans reveal a massive flaw in the Death Star, which later leads to the Rebels' victory. And that victory came because Luke Skywalker made the shot, and it destroyed the Death Star, and happily ever after until the Empire Strikes Back. Okay, but before I get into that, I almost forgot, and I went slightly off script, but the very end of this movie, there's a ceremony where the heroes are given medals, except for Chewbacca for some odd reason, which a lot of Star Wars fans were confused by. But yeah, back to what I was saying, the Empire Strikes Back. After the Rebels go into hiding, they're eventually found out by the Empire, and the Empire's out to get them. Luke goes to a faraway planet known as Dagobah to meet the former Jedi Master Yoda, where Luke completes his Jedi training, which he ends up not completing, by the way. Han, Leia, and the droids go on a wild chase throughout outer space, and they think they're safe in Cloud City to live there for a while, but that is until they find out that Lando double crosses Han Solo, and Darth Vader surprises them at dinner, and everything else goes downhill. Downhill for the Rebels, at least, but uphill in terms of a good movie and not being afraid to let the bad guys the bad guys win. And, you know, overall, definitely an interesting ending. I remember hearing that someone once said that he thought that The Dark Knight could have ended on an Empire Strikes Back type note. I'll talk about the Dark Knight trilogy endings in another vlog. So Luke Skywalker duels with Darth Vader and gets his ass whooped and loses a hand in the process, but fortunately Luke still survives and gets his shiny new hand, and at the very end of this movie, the ending shot is Luke and Leia looking over the galaxy, and there's still a glimmer of hope. And that glimmer of hope does pay off with Return of the Jedi. So there's a new Death Star, which ends up getting destroyed. Luke accepts the ultimate plot twist that Darth Vader is in fact his father, and Luke and Vader later duel, but this time Luke wins, and Vader's in a bit of a dilemma choosing between his master, the Emperor, and his son Luke, and of course he chooses his son Luke. In an epic moment of redemption, he throws Emperor Palpatine over the shaft, which unfortunately Palpatine does return later in a corny way, but yeah, that was definitely an epic ending. And at the very end, there's a celebration, as you could imagine, and 3 Force ghosts of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, and Anakin Skywalker, otherwise known as Darth Vader. Of course, Luke looks over happily, and we later learn that Luke and Leia are twin siblings. So pretty much in a nutshell, the good guys win in Return of the Jedi, and I have to be honest with this vlog, I made it on the go, and even when I wrote this little script, I felt like there was so much I could have spoken about, but that's actually kind of a good thing because it gives me more vlog ideas to go into and more artwork ideas, so I look forward to exploring more Star Wars lore. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more soon. Goodbye.